Welcome to Grief and Loss Today. Hi, I'm Donna Brandenburg.
And I'm Andrea Harris.
Well, let's talk about boundaries.
Oh,
Okay?
yes. That's a big issue when it comes to the helping professions, I'll tell you that. Boundaries, I talk about them like they're fences, because we need boundaries in our lives, and we have many levels of boundaries in our lives. We have different boundaries for our husbands and children than we do for the cashier at the store.
And some people aren't very good at setting boundaries, so they start feeling taken advantage of or sad, or there's lots of reactions. That I actually knew a person that used to, we'd go out for dinner and they would literally reach across the table and try to pull food off of other people's plate. There were zero boundaries there, and it was a person that ended up making a lot of people angry and uncomfortable around him. But that's a very extreme case.
Yes, but I find that helpers often have kind of loose boundaries because their hearts are so big and they want to give so much. And I have run into helpers who, for example, will come, a hospice nurse, for example, who would take care of her patients during the day, but then drive around at night making sure that the lights aren't on and so forth. She wore herself out, my goodness, and she was a wonderful nurse. But those loose boundaries meant that she wasn't taking care of herself, and she wasn't doing any good for her patients either, because they ended up feeling so indebted to her, and that's not what we want to do to the people that we seek to help.
Well, and I think reasonable expectations, too, on what an individual is able to do. You know, if everybody does one thing instead of trying to do a million things, do one thing, that's all it takes. When I adopted my youngest daughter, we were in India, and there's about 30 million kids just exactly like her there. And people said to me when I came back, "Didn't you feel like you wanted to take them all home?" And I said, "Yes, but no." And I wasn't going to beat myself up for it, because I knew in my heart I could do one. And when taking care of somebody, all you got to do is one little thing, and you can change the world.
That's right. And we need to be realistic about that.
And no guilt.
No guilt.
No guilt.
Doesn't
Just do
help.
one. I'm going to smile is good. So anyhow, we have an article and other resources that you can look up. The one below is Please Fence Me In. And that's to help you identify which boundaries are good. Take the guilt away from it. Help you know more about that. And our job is to help others grieve and also help you grieve.